Hey guys! So we're here in the Cairngorm region. Thanks so much for coming along on this trip. It's pretty exciting. So we're going to visit a couple of estates, the Rothy-Mercus estate and the Glenfeshie estate. We're going to get to go up to Cairngorm mountain. Hopefully it's not too snowy up there, we'll see. So it's going to be a great trip. I'm really excited and hopefully we have a lot of fun and learn a lot about conservation science.
For these science and ecology students from the University of Edinburgh, this field trip to the Cairngorms in northeast Scotland is special. They're entering an Arctic mountain landscape which features the highest, coldest and snowiest plateau anywhere in the British Isles. Popular with skiers, walkers and those keen on hunting and fishing, it's also an area where these differing land use priorities can lead to disagreement and conflict, a key discussion point for the students.
When you start talking about the conflicts over land management, or say the differences of opinion that people have if you're talking about a foreign country that people have never been to, it can be difficult to kind of imagine what's going on. Whereas I think in Scotland, it's much easier for them to put themselves in the perspective of the people who are actually involved making those decisions.
We've been looking at all sorts of things, from the rewilding of this landscape, the idea of bringing in creatures that have been made extinct by human intervention, also the reforestation of this landscape with a native woodland and what that might look like. We've been visiting estates with different perspectives on how they want to manage this land in the future. And so you're looking at these different perspectives, the social perspective, the natural perspective and the economic perspective of how we can manage this region for the people of Scotland.
Learning directly from those who manage this land is a key learning component of the course, allowing students to find out firsthand why decisions are taken and the impact they can have.
We've doubled the Caledonian pine range in 10 years, so we went from 700 hectares to around about 1,500 hectares. And our next project really is the montane, sub-montane habitat, which is the dwarf species that should be up on the higher elevations, probably above 500 metres.
It's great to hear the experience of the people that are actually out working on the land instead of people that are studying the people working on the land and what they think. I think that the right to roam is an important thing. I think that the hills and the countryside should be managed much like the ocean, in that it's kind of everybody's right to access it, whether or not they live nearby or not. But there are some subtleties that creep in that I've not really grasped yet. So in terms of the people that live and work on the land, their right intuitively is greater than, say, someone who lives in Surrey but owns 100,000 acres up here. But it's difficult to weigh those up and be pragmatic in terms of the people who are actually putting the money into the economy versus the people who are benefiting from that, and whose opinions and whose stakes are most important is something beyond my reach.
One of the best things about these field courses experiences is you get to have a sort of one-on-one relationship with the students. You get to know them in a better way than you can ever do in the classroom, and you get a bit of feedback from how they're interacting with the knowledge you're trying to get across. So that's been really amazing. I've been chatting to some of the different students about how much of what we're covering is new to them, and it varies by the students. So some of our students come from Scotland, they know about these issues just from growing up here. Other students are coming from across Europe or around the world, and these are very new issues to them, and it's really great to have that mix of students in this environment to share their experiences, and we're trying to get them to be interacting with the issues. It's not about just delivering content one way, it's about conversations basically with land managers like we're just having behind me now, and then getting some two-way interaction.
A ride on Scotland's only funicular railway takes the students to the top of Cairngorm mountain. It's the country's most popular ski resort, but its fragile ecosystem requires careful management of skiers in winter and walkers and eroding footpaths in summer.
Talking to people that aren't, lecturers and so on, and people actually working out here, I think is really important because it gives us a fresh perspective. We can actually see what we're learning about in the classroom as opposed to just seeing it on a lecture slide. You actually see what's going on in person. And I mean, it's also just, it's fun being out here as well. So I think you're more in a mood to learn when you're having a good time, and you're seeing some really cool stuff around you. So
Discovering more about Scotland's history and how land has played a key role in many events is another theme which students explore.
People affect the landscape shapes culture. And you can see signs of that pretty much all over the Highlands. I mean, we've got a castle behind us that was built in about the 1200s. It was used to shelter rebels after the Jacobite Rebellion. You've got the remains of farms all over the glens and valleys here. There are signs that people have been living here for thousands upon thousands of years.
We get to come out and like see the most amazing parts of Scotland that a lot of my friends wouldn't have ever seen otherwise. You know, especially for people like me. I mean, I'd never been to Scotland before coming to uni, and we get to the chance to come out here. Like it's so cool. I love it.